look over the water, keeping the body straight. This is for his spine to stay in line the entire time. See how it's nice up against my higher part of my chest? Okay. On my count, we're gonna go 2, 3 down. Okay. You're gonna grab his head from the inside, and I close up against his back. I turn here, so that way his spine is still in line. And then the count, I swipe the sand, make sure it's smooth, straight all the way down, let him all the way down. Then when he gets to here, I'm gonna pack the sand up against his ear so it's stable. Now, for teaching purposes, even in the shore break, you can do like a jiu-jitsu hook, grab the legs, and spread them out and kick them straight out so now they're straight again. So you can help the second guy get it, because otherwise they get caught up, okay? Now, you guys can see this? Okay. See how I have them like this? Underwater, and I'll demo it again, I pull down, and he comes up here, dancing with my partner. Collecting, see how I collected here? Now I have him right here, so his spine is on line again. The premise is you want to get his spine. No, go.
For example, like happen all the time.
Yeah.
I go to the water.
Yeah.
Some people like be here and the children taking me.
Yes.
He tried to be desperate. I
Yeah.
mean, when you go like close to these people, he tried to grabbing you like crazy.
Sure.
Like.
So 2 things. A drowning person will never follow you down. Okay, so if you're attacking me, it's okay, like if I'm up and I'm in the back. It's the same as like a jiu-jitsu or in a fight. The safest place to be, the water is the same in a fight, on the back. So if you're panicked, because panic kills, you're panicking, go again, look, go. I push off you, I come, and I come around, and then look, I can cross chest. If I have a tube, whatever. But communication is key. So what I'm saying is, as you approach the patient, calm down, relax, you know, relax, calm. If you have a bodyboard, which we do, which is, you know, really a benefit, we don't only give the board to them, we take the leash off, and then I would put it on the patient. Because, like this morning, I thought I got smoked. If I got smoked with a patient, the patient's gone. This way, if I can't make the rescue, you're attached to a flotation device, and at least I find the body. Does that make sense? The patient with the tube on him, swimming through, it follows me, but when I get close, I take it off. And I go, here, take this. And I push it into your chest. So I go over and grab it. And then I go, wait, okay, relax, calm, and then I pull you in, and then I don't go around. Yeah, go around. So I come around and just grab it, okay. In, all done. Now, either way, whether you have a tube or not, the deeper the position you get to carry the person in, the better. So I always come cross chest. If I can, I go here. If it's really dangerous, I come here, and that way I can secure. The other thing is, my head's not back here. Why do you think? What can happen? Exactly. If you get knocked out, the patient has no chance. So I go ear to ear. Now, same idea. Whenever I'm approaching, if the person's not facing me, I can't get them to turn. It's a critical situation. So face that way. If she's flailing, what can happen? Flail like just like throw your arm. Yeah. Boom, I can get hit here. So what I do is I go ear to ear, and I grab the same side, and I hand them the flotation device. I'm not back here because boom, you're gonna get knocked out. It's happening before.
Yeah.
It's once you decide to go in on a rescue, you're in. But commit. You're either out or in, because this is safe and this is safe. Because it's just like the way they get knocked out in the water. They get their boards hit their chin. They hit my chin. I'm drowning. That's like being knocked out in the water is super dangerous. On land, smelling salts, wake them up. Okay, in the water, you're dead. So protect your chin. Okay, same thing when they're in the front, the back, and then watch ear to ear. Don't look at them. Look at the ocean. So face that way. Face the. I'm looking at the ocean. You see, so that way she can't reach my chin. It's impossible. You have to give it like an impossibility. All these little things are simple, but it's like if this, then that. If this happens, I do that. Right? Okay. So simple, but cause and effect. Exactly. Now, the reality is, if someone gets knocked out, I want you to understand the difference. It's a respiratory problem. They need to get their airway open, all the nerves in the chin. They didn't have a heart attack when their board hit them, right? We do need to know CPR, but for this, or like everyday type of things that happen to surfers, they hit the bottom, they hit the board. They hit the bottom, they hit the board, they get knocked out. Evan Geiselman, just all these ones, it's all the same thing. They hit the reef, hit the sand, hit the board, knocked out, open their airway, they come back. The longer the time their airway is not open, and I'll show you real quick, the less of a chance they're gonna survive by the time you get to the beach. So, one thing you can do, when you're rescuing them here, right? I can open the chin, and then when the wave comes, I close. Open, close. Make sense? So that's one way their cognition will come back, because all your nerves in the chin, they start popping back. Majority, I would say, you know, like out of the 45, 50 cases, at least 40 of them start coming back in the water. Then you got to protect the airway so they don't get water, but you have a better chance than waiting 10 minutes to complete the rescue and then start getting breaths into them. They will come back on their own because they'll gag, that agonal gas, and they'll start coming back. All right?
I got a question. Go ahead. Regarding the anthropoda rescue with the pipe,
yeah.
you saw that he put his mouth over the nose.
Totally
went to it.
Totally worked. Okay, because if you look at the studies with doctors Spielman, a lot of people are like, oh, we should have waited to do CPR. I was like, no. That, if I had a preference, I would teach all, if you can. With COVID, you can't, so opening the airway is the alternative, right? And if you do good chest compressions, then you'll get an oxygen exchange. But what he did totally helped the scenario, because he had oxygen 2 minutes before he got to the beach. He did that, and then I grabbed him, and then it was like, game on. Evan was actually coming back in the water. I was opening his airway, closing it when the waves came, and I could hear him like gargling, trying to come back. As soon as we got him to the beach, within 30 seconds, he was awake, puking. So it's for surfers, for what we do specifically, not snorkeling. Snorkeling is a little different. A lot of people, when they snorkel, they have heart attacks from exertion, and they just stop. It's not this. This is lights on, lights off, right? You got to know, it's like case management. You can understand what's happening. Now, just a quick tutorial. CPR is simple, super simple. So this is for you guys too, just at the restaurant. I can do it literally and show you how to do it on a rescue. You're trying to get 2.5 inches deep. You guys can come up a little bit. The goal on it is to get 2 to 2.5 inches on an adult. However, it's bottom out. Okay, so everyone touch their solar plexus and their rib cage. That's the mile marker we're trying to hit. Now, the wrist, the heel of your hand is everything. These fingers, they do nothing at all. They're flexible, there's no rigidity. You need to have a locked pose, right? So it's pretty easy to teach CPR, because I can teach it even on a rescue tube. All I got to show you is depth and position. Position, nipple line, sternum, heel of the hand right here. Lock your arm, okay? Now, if you're by yourself, you're going to 100 and back to 1, just so you know how long you've been there. 2 rounds of 100 is roughly 2 minutes, so you're just getting a guess for an EMS. Oh, we've been doing CPR for 10 minutes. We've been doing CPR for 15 minutes before they came. It's just to understand for the next rescuer or the EMS where you're at. It's not critical to save the life, it's critical for the case so they kind of understand what they're doing. However, when they show up, they're going to be doing oxygen and everything else you can't do. So the main thing I can teach you to do right here is actually do good compressions. Lock post. If you're at the beach, say you're the second responder, a good thing to do is take your slippers and put them under your knees. Why? Look at my knees, they're going deep, right? So if you don't have leverage, and I'm doing this for 5 minutes, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, I'm going to dig a hole, and then the beat is going to look like this. So CPR is all about consistency and not stopping. The less interruptions, the better, right? Now again, with COVID, I'm leaving some equipment here for this specific beach. You don't want to breathe, I understand that. But pocket mask, breathe, just natural breath. You can breathe in between each compression, or you can breathe every 30 if you're doing 30 to 2. But right now, you're just going to understand lockdown post, 2 to 2.5 inches, 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, 8 and 9 and 10. What I want to do is just give you guys some breathing control stuff. So like, this is a case. What happens is, boom, you see them either in the shore break getting pushed in, broken neck, you're unconscious. You're going with the current, right? You grab them, okay, that's a minute by the time you go recognize, get the rescue from the beach, bring them. Look, so that guy hasn't had oxygen or a pulse for at least a minute and a minute and a half, right? Your body can sustain life for roughly about 5 minutes depending health. I've seen guys that have been underwater after hours, 3 out of 15 minutes and still survive. Why I tell you that is like, yes, by the time you get him here, you're at like, if you're doing everything right, it's a minute, minute 30. About 2 minutes to CPR. Really got to get going on it. Let's explain it. So like, so if you have a bleeding control scenario, anything can be the problem. The object, the surfboard. We have a lot of it in Hawaii. You have fins that cut. Here, you guys have objects. You don't see it, and then it's there. Like we removed the tree yesterday because we didn't want someone doing a roll and then landing and then getting impaled, especially when it comes to objects. What's the biggest problem? If it's a small object, do you take it out or do you leave it? What do you do? Leave it. Because if it's small enough where they can be moved with it and it doesn't have to be cut, it will control the bleeding itself. We'll cut the bandage, put it over the wound, and leave it. Okay. If it's an artery, there's three majors. You have your carotid, your brachial, and your femoral. Your femoral is the most exposed. So as bodyboarders, as surfers, I was worried to see debris, someone do a maneuver or slide out the back and land, and then cut their femoral. If you're by yourself, the only thing you can do is you're going to grab your fist, so everybody make a fist, and you're going to pressure down into it. I mean, send this leg all the way through. If you're the second person, I'm going to get you to shore, because this is the other thing about bleeding. What is blood? It's mostly water, right? Water and water will flow. There's no atmospheric pressure. It can't coagulate. There's no chance. You got to get them out. So if in a perfect world, yes, I would tourniquet in the water. If I had a leash and I could do it real fast and still get them in, but I'm never delaying. If there's any type of delay, no, I got to get them here because this is where the real bleeding control happens. It should catch. Real tourniquet will catch. Like I have a few versions. Oh, can we grab it real quick? Cat tourniquet. I've got a marine tourniquet over there, but it's easy. High and tight. If you're like, if you're right near a hospital, okay, like literally 10 minutes, okay, you can put it 2 inches from to save the limb. But if you're out here, I'm going high and tight, right? Cinch in. This is for the time, okay? This is already set, but I'm just twisting until the faucet stops and crank, 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 and then in, okay? Now, alternatively, like I said, not every leash can do this. A gyro can, fortunately, some other ones can, because the thing with a bodyboard leash versus a surf leash you can do it. It's not the best. The thicker the band, the better the tourniquet. So this is actually the same as that. It's perfect. You go to the second buckle. Mike loved this because I've known it for a while. And he did it, it's just by happenstance. Now, same thing, it's a tourniquet. I go past the point and I just crank as much as I can, okay? Now, you can obviously pad gauze, pad things around here to stop the bleeding as well, but this is the number one besides if you don't have anything to push the pressure down. Now, anytime we're fortunate enough to have equipment, great. Glove up, right? Sterile bandage, put the placement. I'm gonna use you real quick. Now, I'm leaving a bunch of this up here, it's clear arm. Can you hold that there for me? Okay. So I'm just teaching you a knot because this can be used even with the rash guard, this can be used with anything, but if you do have gauze, it's better, okay? What I do is I give myself about 6 inches because look how windy it is. This is gonna get flopped in the air, see it? Right? It's catching the wind. So I gotta secure it. The way I secure it, okay, I go once here, I go once around. Now see the knot's locked in? The main thing is the knot, that's what I'm teaching you. The rest is just pressure. I wanna get pressure on the wound. Okay, obviously if you have gloves, use them. If you don't, what are you gonna do, okay? I keep going around this wound with the sterile band all the way, and now see, I can let it go because it flies in the wind, it's no big deal. I keep going and going. Now, the idea though is you want to have cross tension because this is, there's a piece of equipment called an Israeli bandage. This is the poor man's Israeli bandage. I'm actually leaving real ones here, but I'm just showing you for everybody, just field medicine. Use what you got, you know what I mean? Use it, you could do this with a kitchen towel by just getting the cross tension. Cut it, use it. Now I can cinch this down on the wound, you know what I mean? It just gets tighter and tighter. Do we ever take off gauze or do we put more? More. We never take off because the blood's gonna coagulate. Then I can just tie off the way I want. See how tight that is on there? That's making its own little Israeli bandage or tourniquet, however you want to look, but it's on the wound. So if it was a minor artery in the wrist,